Hey there, thanks for signing in. Welcome to the picnic table. Picnic table and chat. We start in half an hour after a bit of feeding in the multi-species tank. See you there. Hey there guys and girls, only 15 minutes left of this feeding before the interview starts. See you there.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Picnic Table Ant Chat. This is Season 2, Episode 15, and welcome back, everyone, joining me again, and welcome to our new guests as well. We have quite a few people in the chat at the moment. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi at the minute. I don't know why it's so laggy again. What can I say? We're working to try and sort it as always, doing our best, but I just can't tell you why it's going rubbish again. But tonight we're going to be asking you to talk about your pets, so your ants, your other inverts, cats and dogs, any pets that you have. Hello, Auntie Matters. Thanks for signing in, buddy. Any pets that you have, I just want to know what you've got. We're going to have a little chat about them, and we'll just have a good little night, and then we'll see where the night takes us. How about that? So if you want to just start sending in, like, if you've got pets, what pets have you got? Let me know in the chat. And I'm going to start telling you about some of the pets that I've had and still do have. So obviously, I have all my ants, obviously. I've got 37 different colonies of my own, and then loads of other colonies, loads of ants absolutely everywhere. We love ants. I've also got other stuff, as you know, in the multi-species tank. I've got vampire crabs, millipedes, spiders, and all sorts of stuff in there. I've got my scorpion, I've got stick insects, and quite a few other pets. I've also had quite a few. Well, I've had one dog of my own. My dog, I had him for about 10 years. I had my dog, and he was a Staffy. It was absolutely lovely. Helped me bring up the kids, and he was my best friend ever. You know how dogs, like, well, all pets can become like a really good friend, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not just a pet, not just part of the family. They're like, they can be a really good friend as well. And he was a really good friend to me. He was my dog, you know what it gets like. But sadly, he did pass away from old age, completely natural causes, um, and he lived a good life. And then I was really lucky to be given the opportunity to walk someone else's dog. They were just struggling with a few issues basically, and they offered me to walk their dog for them. It was only down the road, and I thought this is a good way for me to like get over losing my dog, and it helped me keep fit basically because I like to run. So I used to take her out running, and she was called Violet. She was an absolutely gorgeous dog. She was a Staffy. She was a blue Staffy. So she was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just doing something on the doodad as well. And I used to take her out like, well, it started to be like really, really regular all the time. We used to go out running for miles, and yeah, we had a really good time doing it. I absolutely loved walking her. But then obviously she didn't die or anything, but situation got better, and I just ended up walking her less and less, and then eventually it did fizzle out, which is a bit of a shame. But I absolutely loved that dog. She was gorgeous, and it was a really good way to help me kind of get over losing my pet, which we all struggle with. So yeah, if you're there in the chat, let me know what pets you've got at home, and we're gonna have a little chat about them as well. I'm just putting that in on a banner as well. You have at home. Right, my spelling is really bad tonight. So if you see any spelling mistakes, just shout at me. You know how things work. Just shout. I think, yeah, 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 yeah. There we go. There we go. Let me know what pets you have at home. So just give me a little comment, pets you got at home, and we'll have a little chat. But yeah, so that's basically my pet story. I've had one dog, and I've helped walk another dog, and then on top of that, I've had all of these. When I was younger, I did have a rabbit. I had a cat. In fact, at home when I was really young, growing up, we had budgies and parrots and fish, rabbits, and just about every pet that you could think of. We had some point, my rabbit was called Snowy, little white rabbit. That's absolutely gorgeous again. And I think they still got loads of pets. I think, in fact, when I moved out, I think they basically got more pets. They turned like every room into a pet room with like turtles and God knows how many dogs. I don't know. You can see where I get it from. So yeah, loads of pets always in the I've always grown up with dogs as well. Katrina, thank you for giving that little message there. I'll read that out in 2 seconds. Mainly because I needed to cough. In fact, I've got a good story to tell you in a little bit after the little pet section. Basically, it was the worst time to sneeze ever. So you'll like that story. In fact, I'll write that down so that I don't forget. Sneezing story. You'll like that one. You'll like that. Anyways, I can't even remember where I was saying. So let's just read Katrina's thing. You have Roxy, your rescue Staffy cross Rottweiler. I imagine so it's female. I'm gonna get that one right, I hope. Roxy, female. Sounds awesome. Is she a big, is she more rotty, like big, or is she small like a Staffy? I'd like to know a bit more about her. Pink-legged millipedes, yeah, awesome. Have you ever ventured into centipedes? I've looked at it and I've basically thought they're not for me. I don't want something that can bite and sting me. But I've got ants. I've got my bullet ant. Centipedes are something else, though, aren't they? You got roaches, Mario, isopods, ectomyrmex. I can't pronounce. You know, my pronunciation's awful, but many ant species, we're going to say. Many ant species. And the Lasius, which you're unsure because of your eyes. Yeah, Lasius are quite small, actually, especially the workers. Even I struggle, and I'm going to have good eyesight. We say I've got good eyesight. Right now, I've got about 20 million lights shining me in the eyes, and I can't see a thing. You've seen. Okay, yeah, okay. See anything like that. I love dogs like that. It's such a shame that they get like such a bad name. You know, I always say there's no bad dog; it's the breeder. Not always true. You can sometimes like there's no real bad dog though, is there? They just kind of they do their own thing, and if you piss off the dog, you're probably going to get bitten. You know, it's the same as anyone. We lash out, humans lash out, but obviously dogs is another matter. But yeah, I love dogs. It's just a shame that they do get this bad reputation. Like I say, I've always had staffies, and like my staffy was an absolute wimp. Like he got beaten up by a Jack Russell. Um, we'll get there in a second. He got beaten up by a Jack Russell when he was a puppy, and after that, he never wanted to be around another dog ever again. Basically, he just spent all his time cuddling up with other humans, which was fine with me because, like I say, he was like my best friend. He'd sit in my chair. We had our own little, what do you call them? An ass groove. We had an ass groove that I would fit in, and he basically would fit in as well in my chair. That's how much we sat together. Yeah, but it's just, you know, they never. I don't believe they're really bad animals. Even the ones that become aggressive, they're not really bad animals. They've just been taught wrong, treated wrong. You know, it can be a real shame with dogs, especially those breeds, because they are used more for fighting and things. But then you can use any dog for fighting. Like, I expect you could get a Labrador doing it. I don't know. Stacy, thank you for putting in some comments for us. You've got a part. If I pronounce anything wrong, shout at me. You know the rules. Got a Parsons Terrier, similar to a Jack Russell, and two cats. The dog Nobby is currently crash out on your lap. See, they just love cuddles, don't they? Like that's all any pet. That's all anyone wants, really, is just to cuddle up on the warm lap and go to sleep and do nothing. You know, my Kane, that's all he wanted to do. Even when he was a puppy, like his whole life, that's all he wanted to do was cuddle. Basically, it was gorgeous. We walked hundreds of miles at one point, and I ended up carrying him like a baby, and he would cuddle his little paws around me. He was a baby. I think I told you about him in another stream. Actually, he was a cow, pig, sheep, turtle dog. I say that because he looked like a cow because he was black and white. He would follow you everywhere like a sheep. If he rolled on his back, he couldn't get up like a turtle, and he was a dog. So he was a cow, sheep. Oh, and he would snort like a pig. So he's cow, pig, sheep, turtle dog. That became like just a general name for him. We would also call him Woofy, Woof, just anything. Like he was great with the kids, like, and the kids absolutely loved him. Like, my eldest was probably 4, maybe 5 when he passed on, so it's a bit of a shame he wasn't about for longer. But he was like so helpful when they were babies. Like when they would cry, and like we'd be there late at night. You got the baby monitor next to you, and you're kind of hoping that they don't wake up, you know. And then they wake up, he'd be straight in there. We'd be like, right, give it a minute before we go running in, because you don't want to like go instantly running in every time, do you? And he'd be in there before we could get him, and he was brilliant, you know, the slightest thing, and he would cuddle up next to him. We've got some brilliant photos and things like that of him led on. Good evening, Ant Boy. Thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. We've got some brilliant photos of him and my eldest, I believe, or probably all three of them, just sat on the sofas together and like doing. Yeah, I would never have had. I would never be concerned with him and my children, if you know what I mean. I had that such trust bond. Obviously, I would have never leave him alone with them because that's just not something I would do. But I had that trust with him. He was such a brilliant dog, like amazing, just amazing with kids, just a great personality. And yeah, I think it is a lot of how you bring them up. Ant Boy, we're just chatting about every pet that you have, basically. So ants, inverts, cats and dogs, rabbits. If you've got pets, like put them in the comments and let's have a little chat. I'm just reading the next comment from Katrina. Uh, she's a baby with other dogs, not so much. She's adorable pressure therapy dog. Okay, yeah, okay. So she likes squeezes and cuddles and things like that. Like I think a lot of dogs, they say they do they end up with issues. I know they end up with like separation issues and things like that from being rescued. Not all the time, but you know what I mean? They can end up like you have to make allowances sometimes. Is that the right way to say it? I'm awful with my terms of phrase and how I actually talk. So just shout at me. Everyone shout at me. You know the rules. That is the rule from now on. If you don't understand me, just shout at me. Um, but yeah, what was I even saying? It's gone. It's just completely gone. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think like because they do like we get connected to our pets, so they obviously get connected to us. And I think like sometimes obviously they do need to be moved on to different homes and things like that. Like say rescues and things. And some of them get like anxiety issues and um I don't know if they can have nightmares, but you know what I mean? Like you can see sometimes a bit of distress in the dogs, and it's a bit of a shame, but it happens in everything, doesn't it? Everyone kind of, yeah. It is a shame, but I always admire people for taking in rescues, to be honest, because I'd rather take in a rescue than like go and get a puppy, if that makes sense. I know puppies are cute and they need homes as well, but I would rather go and get a rescue and like give a old dog a new home sort of thing. Nobby's a rescue. There you go. Yeah, rescues. Like I think that's the way to go. Like I'm pretty sure I've heard that before. Actually, you should go and get a rescue instead of getting a puppy because they are the ones that kind of need the nice home. Ant Boy's jumping in. You've got a Jack Russell. Yeah, Jack Russell's brilliant dogs, very yappy. How is yours like? A general tendency? Is it a calm dog? Is it crazy and all over the place? Um, you've got a leopard gecko. Yeah, leopard geckos are really cool. It's not actually one that I've ever kept, and it's not. I don't know if I ever will, to be honest. They've interested me, but not to the point where I want to like put it in like my shelves. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know why. That's a weird one. Siamese fighting fish. Now that's cool. Um, you'd have to correct me if I'm wrong, but are they the really big, like one with the big plumes and things like that? I think that might be it, but I might be wrong. I'm not that great with fish. And a Brazilian ants. Yeah, we know you've got a Brazilian ants, but that's kind of the best thing about ants. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger. You can start with the one, and you end up with a few thousand, and like you've got multiple pets then. Your Jack Russell's cool, a bit on the noisy side. Yeah, they can be a bit yappy, but they're good dogs, you know. And especially I like them when they get a bit older, to be honest, because then they kind of lose that yappiness, and they just want to chill when they're like perfect kind of lap size, and they look cute um when they're getting old and they got like a beard going on, you know. Long fins and really stunning. There you go. The Siamese fighting fish, long fins, really stunning. I thought so. I can visualize them in my head, and they are absolutely beautiful fish. Do they actually fight? Like, do they hunt down the other little fish? Will they kill everything in the tank? I don't know a lot about fish. It's not something I've massively dived into again. Um, and Dad USA is here with us on Facebook. He says he completely agrees about getting a rescue. Yeah, like I say, I think it is like a thing already. I think someone's tried to make like a movement into um, rather get a rescue than get a puppy. You know, that I don't know, something like that. But I think it is a good idea. Um, Anti Matters is here on YouTube, and he says he's got a Chihuahua called Penny. Did I say Chihuahua? It just sounds weird when I say it. Sounds like I'm a out of tune guitar. Called Penny. Now, what are they actually like? Because you see so much bad press about Chihuahuas and like those little, what do they call them? Lap dogs, purse dogs, bag dogs, the dogs that fit in your rucksack, basically. You get see a lot of them like say they're yappy, they're annoying, they're just I don't know. What's it actually like personality wise? Stacy, he was dropped at a dog home at 14 weeks. Oh wow. We went looking for an older dog, but none they had would be okay with the cat. So yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But 14 weeks, wow, that's so young. Male, okay, right. So back to the Siamese fighting fish. Males will kill each other, but they're okay with other species, and that's interesting. So you could have them in quite a large, multi-fish species tank, um, as long as they're not two males. That's interesting. I thought they were really aggressive, and that's why they were called fighting fish. To be honest, like I say, I don't know. I hold my hands up to that. Not a clue, but I just assumed because of the name they would like hunt down like little sharks, kind of. Right. So here's a question for Ant Boy or anyone that knows about fish. You get tropical fish and you get the little sharks with a black tip. Are they actually sharks or are they something else and just claiming to be sharks, like fake sharks? If that makes sense. You know the ones I'm on about. They're like that big and they're silver with a little black tip. Um, they're cool, but are they sharks? Like, if so, are they the smallest shark? That would be That's something to find out, isn't it? I don't know. I should do some more research on sharks and fish. If I ever get time. Um, right, going to the Chihuahua here. Not yappy, but spends most of the day ratting. Most loving girl ever. Yeah, fair enough. So do you ever fall over? Do you ever like trip over her because she's so small she just runs through your feet? Because my dog was like, what do you call a staffy? Like a small medium dog? Medium? No, it's not a medium sized dog, is it? He was a short leg staffy as well. So he would. I'm gonna say a small medium dog because he's not a small dog like a Chihuahua or Jack Russell. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah, I fell over him multiple times. Multiple. One time, right, I had a bowl of ice cream in my hand, and you know how you don't want to spill your ice cream. So he comes in one way, goes between my legs, and I'm there stumbling over him. He literally stands behind me, so that as I'm stumbling, I just went straight over. I managed to hold that bowl of ice cream perfect, didn't spill a drop. But I felt like I broke my coccyx. I couldn't stand properly for about a week, but I kept my bowl of ice cream upright and it was fine. Um, so yeah, she's pretty good. Works with horses all day, so stays clear of the leg. Okay, fair enough. Got some brains on her. I think that's an important factor. I think if the dogs, because you do get stupid dogs. Let's be honest, you get some dumb dogs. And then you get some really smart dogs. So I think, yeah, she's with you 24/7. You're pretty much in sync. Yeah, that's really cool. I think that's like that does tend to happen, if especially if you've only got one dog or pet. Um, you just become attached. I was like so attached to my dog. He was, like I say, he was part of my entire 10 years. He was you walk them 3, 4 times a day, every day. You do this, you do that. You're feeding them, and it's part of your life, isn't it? It's like another. Well, it is a kid basically. You treat them like another kid. Ant Boy talking about the Siamese fighting fish, the communal tank. As long as there's no species to nip at their fins, and no, they're not sharks. Okay, so why was I always told they're sharks? Is that just like a urban myth to go with them, make them sound cool? were my parents just lying to me? Like, let's not rule that one out, but we've got to be careful because she might be watching. Love you, Mum. Yeah, Stacey, totally. The ice cream, like, it's food is like one of the most important things to me. In fact, you're very lucky that I didn't have to bring on my protein shake. I've just downed it before I started the stream. I nearly had to bring on a big jug of protein shake. I'm back on. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I said I'm back on my eating regime. I'm not having another boxing match. I'm getting back into the strongman stuff, so starting to pile back on the weight. Eating and protein shakes, and then more eating and more protein shakes. It's a continuous cycle of eating basically all day until I put on like another 20 kilograms, which is quite a substantial bit of weight to try and chuck on for nothing. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and you will know that I love my weightlifting. But like I said, I'll tell you a story about that later. Um, Right, got to dissect one: cartilage, skeleton, shark bones, fish. So, right, that's confused me. Shark bones equal fish, and right, I'm confused. It's not going to take much to confuse me tonight, to be completely honest. It's just been, you know how it is. Right, it helps to sell more. Kids want a shark rather than a bone. Yeah, but sharks don't have bones. Really? What? So okay, so it's all cartilage. No, I didn't know that. I thought they had like. No, I suppose that's a whale, isn't it? I'm just trying to think if I've seen one in a museum or anything. Fish do have bones, sharks don't. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Has anyone ever swam with sharks? I've. I probably wouldn't do it, but people do it. I think there was a thing in the paper today actually. Princess Kate, nearly forgot her name. Catherine, Kate. What are we calling her now? I think we're calling her Catherine, aren't we? Now she's official. I might be wrong on that. I'm usually wrong. You know the rules. Shout at me. Um, I think she went swimming with sharks literally a couple of days ago. I'm pretty sure I saw something in the paper. I haven't read the paper today. I apologise, Mr. News person. I haven't got round to it. But I'm pretty sure I saw that when I was passing through a shop. Not a clue. But has anyone ever swam with sharks? That'd be really cool. I wouldn't do it, like I say, but it would be cool to. I might do dolphins, but dolphins can be just as bad as sharks, and they're smart. They know how to get you. If they like, I'm sure I watched something one day, and they walked on land, they took over a town, and they forced all the people back into the ocean. I'm pretty sure I watched that. It might have been the news. It might have been The Simpsons, but it might have been the news. You know. Swimming with shark is once in a lifetime experience because you'll get eaten the first time. Yeah, it definitely can be. But then you see people like get out of the cages and have a like good swim with them, and yes, I think if they're not all rolled up and hungry, like maybe go out, feed the sharks like for like 2 or 3 days, just give them tons and tons of food, then go out like a day or so later and jump in, they might not eat you. Like, how tasty could I look? I can't look that good. Like in my little shorts with my white legs flapping about underneath me. I can't look that tasty, can I? I don't know. I don't know how much sharks actually care, to be honest. I think they think you look like a seal, don't they, or something like that, and that's what they're attracted to. I saw quite a funny picture actually. It was like, oh no, that guy's bleeding. I better go help him, and like the shark with the guy in his mouth. Like, I'm helping. Oh, it was brilliant. Right, so we've got 7 people in chat at the minute. I think that's a brilliant time to have a little vote. What's better, cats or dogs? If we can get an answer from everyone, I will give you a massive thumbs up. Oh, in fact, right, I've got something to tell you in a minute. you're going to like this. Or either that, you're going to hate it. It could go either way. But yeah, what's better, cats or dogs? Let me know in the chat whilst I tell you about something I've discovered. Did you know? Now, if anyone here is from Asia, been to Asia, living in Asia, you probably already know. But did you know you can buy weaver ant eggs to eat in a tin? Like, what? It blew my mind. Like, I didn't know that. So when I found that out, I was like, wow, I'm gonna get some. So I will have a little tin of weaver ant eggs. I don't think they're usable as eggs anymore. Obviously, they've been like in brine and stuff. But that's quite interesting. Obviously, it's come from Thailand. I think these are from. Really interesting. Like I say, I'm always interested in other people's cultures and the way that ants are viewed in other people's cultures. So I thought that was really interesting. So I am going to get some, and I'll show you what they look like. And I don't know, maybe, just maybe, I'll try them on stream. But I don't know if I could honestly do it. I don't like. I think my missus basically suggested it to me. I was like, I don't know if I could actually do that. To be honest, like morally, like I love my ants. Like I don't know if I could eat ant eggs. But then I eat chicken eggs, and I had a pet chicken. Oh, I've not told you about my pet chicken. I'll tell you about him in a minute. What a legend. Him, her, whatever. It was a chicken. Absolute legendary chicken, though. Best chicken in the whole hut thing. So let's have a little look. We've got dogs, 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 and you can't pick. So I'm going to say all three of them were on the sofa. So yeah, you can't whisper it. You don't want to get dirty eyes from your cats, basically, clawed in the leg or something. Auntie Matt is saying I gotta do it. So maybe when I reach like 1,000 subscribers, how about that? When I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will eat the weaver ant eggs. How about that? We're close to 500, so that'll be quite a while, I reckon. But I'll do it. If that's what we're gonna do, I'll do it. You know, I'll never let you down. But yeah, so right, my chicken. Who's seen the old school film Herbie Went Bananas, was it? And there was like the whole Herbie series. There was this car, and it like had its own little personality, and it was pretty awesome, right? So I don't know how this even came about. So I'm getting a bit warm. I don't know how this even come about. I was taken to a chicken farm somehow with my mum. I have no idea. We were walking around and stuff, and someone just basically said, "You can have this one." I was like, "I got a chicken." So we took it on home, and my dad was like, "Why have you got a chicken?" I'm like, "I've got a chicken. I'm calling it Herbie." And it was Herbie the chicken, right? Awesome. And we stuck it in my grandparents' chicken hut with all their chickens. I think they had like 4, maybe 6. But my chicken was the best and coolest chicken of them all, simply because it was better. But then one day, no more chicken. And that was that. But yeah, that's the life of the chicken, I suppose. You're a chicken one day and then you're dinner the next. But yeah, I do eat meat, so it's not a massive issue for me. I don't necessarily want to eat my pets, but chicken's a chicken. And he was called Herbie, so it did taste pretty good. You just got dirty looks for laughing. Right. Whoops. So here's another question. If you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be? like absolutely any animal, like, but you have to deal with its personality. You can't change its personality. If you want a lion, you still got an aggressive lion. It's not just going to be tame because you want it to be, but you can have it. What would you have? It's quite a hard one, really. Like, I don't know. What would be my dream pet? My dream pet, not a clue. Not a clue. There's so many animals to choose from. I don't know. A vampire. I would like a pet vampire. I would keep him in like a dark room surrounded by sunlight. Solve that issue, wouldn't it? And every time I go in there, I'd take a little cross and some garlic or something. Wouldn't be able to get me. And I'd have a pet vampire. And then at night, I'd be like, "Oi, vampire, fly somewhere." That wouldn't really work. And I don't know. No, not a clue. It's quite a hard one, actually. If you've got every animal in the world, I keep thinking like a lion, but I really don't want to deal with a lion. You see, I've never even watched that Tiger Guy. You know, that Tiger Man series or whatever it was. I've never watched anything like that. I wouldn't know how to deal with a lion. I know that like they eat people. I'd probably get eaten. I don't think I could even wrestle or even box a lion. I might be able to get a 1-2 in, and then he'd probably bite me, and that would be the end. It's not really fair to box a lion. Kangaroos. Now, I would box a kangaroo, but they get their feet involved, and I don't do feet. I've tried it. Like, I went to a couple of, what were they, kickboxing and MMA and that sort of stuff. I've done it. I'm rubbish at it. Simple as that. I probably started way too late in life, and I'm good at boxing. I started that many years ago. Only started doing that for a bit of fun, like in the last couple of years, and like I can kick and I can do a few things, but I'm rubbish at MMA. The minute you get me rolling on the floor, my shoulders go pop out because it does that, and that's going to be the end of the fight. Either that, or I'll just fight with one arm. Like I have done that in boxing before. In fact, there was one match that I had, and what was it, 8 seconds into the very first round, you just saw this shoulder go clonk, and I just, in my glove, I just went, oosh, popped it back in and carried on. Simple as that. You gotta do what you gotta do. Never let things stop you, you know. You want a mammoth. Antimatters wants a mammoth so you could ride him about. Could you get on a mammoth? Like I said, you've got to deal with the mammoth behavior. That you're going to need a big old enclosure as well. But the very cool pet. I mean, you could shave them and make like fur coats and stuff. Mammoth fur coats. People would probably buy that. I expect Turkish people or Russians might be into that. They quite like furs, don't they? The Russians like furs. But I don't know if they necessarily like them, but they're quite big in the fur trade, or they were until about the 1800s. Um, yeah. A vampire could give me immortality. Yeah, it could. It would also kill me in a way. Is it immortality if you're dead at the same time? Or if you can't go out and get ice cream, is it really worth being immortal? I mean, you could go to Asda at night, I suppose. It is 24-hour, but then you step in and there's bright lights. You got to stay in the dark. But no shop's going to serve you in the dark, are they? Or you go in a hood and like sunglasses on and stuff. You ain't going to get served nothing. They're going to kick you out. Vampires, like that's why they've resorted to biting us, because they can't get in any shops. We need to make dimly lit shops that are easy to get into. No, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. Don't do that. Bad business idea, that was. I'm just going to use my inhaler before I kill over or something, you know. Yeah. Climb up the long fur. You could try and climb. I've seen some films, right? And I know obviously films are films and you can't judge a mammoth by his film. But I don't reckon it would be an easy job. In fact, I don't reckon I could even get on an elephant with a ladder. You know, in fact, I think my wife has rode an elephant when she went to Thailand, which is like we don't do that over here, do we? But they have a completely different way of looking at animals, especially elephants and stuff. And I'm pretty sure she's rode on an elephant. We should get her on stream and ask her questions. Wife, if you're watching, come on stream and we're going to ask you questions. She's probably not watching. She never watches my streams. There she'll come down. Bless. No. So right. So here's a good one. What is the worst injury you've had from a pet, your own or someone else's? Like, obviously, we all get stung by our ants. Have you been bitten by a dog? Have you been trampled by a cow? I know someone who has. What's your worst injury that's happened from a pet? Just trying to think. My worst injury that's happened from an actual pet, not just a random animal outside, because I've had quite a few of them as well, would have to be. Actually, it's quite an interesting one. It wasn't from a pet itself. It was whilst I was building an enclosure. I knew there was some sharp glass basically that I hadn't sanded down yet. This was quite a while. Yes, I've got pen on my hand. I'm sorry. This quite a long time ago, and I was there, and I put my hand on the rim, and I slid it across, and I looked at my hand, and it was just basically a big cut, just gushing out with blood everywhere, and it was great fun. I do what I usually do, and I got some toilet roll, wrapped it up, and carried on like it was nothing. And then I looked again, and that was so. We won't go into it, but there was a lot. It just kept going. But yeah, I'm pretty rubbish when it comes to injuries, right? So I got knocked off my bike. What was it, this year or last year? This no, last year. Wow, time goes so fast, doesn't it? Last year, back in like October, I got knocked off my bike by a van. Don't know if I actually said on stream, and it was quite an ordeal. It wasn't a nice experience. It managed to like basically slice a part of my calf off. Um, I did what I normally did. I wrapped it up with like a bit of my shirt, and I walked home. And then I went back out on my bike again later. Didn't go to the hospital, didn't get no stitches or nothing. I'm absolutely useless. Everyone that looked there was like, "You need that stitched up." I was like, "Yeah, but that's time out of my day, and I'm a very busy person. I haven't got time to sit there and get stitched up for a few hours." So I just crack on with it. And then what was it? A week later, I was boxing, but it was really annoying actually. I was supposed to box the day after the accident actually happened, and because I got knocked off, I actually couldn't walk the day that I was supposed to be boxing. So I had to ring the coach and say, "Are you gonna have to like I can't do it, basically. There's no way I can get in the ring." And I was so let down because I've always said I'll carry on through thick and thin, like hell come high water, my arm popping out, my face exploding. I don't care. I will carry on. But I couldn't even stand. So like trying to get in the ring, I would have toppled. You know what I mean? There's just no way I could have done it. And it was the first time I've had to say, I can't do this fight, sort of thing. And then I did do a fight a week later because by the end of the day, I was able to walk on it. And I was like, I could have done that fight. I could have done it. You know what it's like when you get kind of, for a boxing match or any competition, really, I kind of get worked up into, I'm ready for this. I want to do this. Let's get on with it. And then when you have to like let all it, it's just so bad. You gotta walk it off, I suppose. Stacey, you got knocked on your butt by a cow. You grew right. You grew up on a farm, so getting hurt regularly was just part of it. Yeah. I grew up opposite a farm, and I very much know and understand that. Nearly had a tree land on you when cutting firewood. Yeah, that's pretty close. There's a trick to that. Move out of the way when a tree's falling. No, that's the sort of thing my dad would say. No, that's quite bad, actually. I'm glad you're okay. you're still here with us. But let's talk more about the cow. Why were you in a cow field? Like, d- but why? Like, so, like I said, I grew up opposite a farm, a dairy farm actually, and like we were allowed to go and see the cows and watch them and whatnot. But like we knew to stay, like because you have to go through the fields occasionally, don't you? That's probably why you were there. And we just knew, stay away from the cows, and if they start coming towards you, run like run, just get out of there because they can tramp. They are heavy. Cows are like, I don't know, half a ton to a ton. They're big animals. I don't know how much it weighs, but I probably couldn't lift it straight off the ground. Let's say that. Maybe I could one day. A small one. I could probably lift a small cow, but right, we're not talking about that. Um, they're heavy animals and they run fast. You got like if they trample you, they can cause a massive injury. In fact, someone I know, and I've always kind of wondered, like they walk on a crutch. He's quite an older gentleman. He walks with a crutch, and I've always kind of wondered why he's got this crutch. Is his leg ever going to heal, sort of thing? Um, it turns out, and we had a little chat about it. He just kind of told me out of the blue, and I'm not going to mention any names because yeah, but it turns out that an animal basically stood on him and just crushed the bones completely. And that's why he walks with a crutch because it will never repair itself properly because it's so destroyed. It's like, whoa, that's pretty insane. Like you imagine being stood on by like a cow or a horse or I doubt a pig could do it, but a big animal just crushing all of your bones. Just wow, painful. Don't run or they'll chase. Yeah, you only run if they've started chasing you already. Like never start the run. You casually walk through. But if they start charging at you, you run. Don't jump on the ground because that's when they get you. And cows are known for like they can target you as well. They'll kind of like nose at you and flip you off the ground. I've seen that. They'll flip you off the ground and stuff actually. Um has anyone ever seen what do they call it? The bullfighting rings and the bull run and things like that they have in Mexico and Spain. Anyone ever witnessed that, experienced it? That would be. I don't know how I feel about it. Do they still kill the bulls? Bulls, bulls. I, the bullocks. Oh dear. Like, do they? I don't know if they still kill them. But I suppose as long as they're not getting harmed and they get treated well, if they treat these animals like absolute royalty, then that's fine with me. Like, run round the ring for 5 minutes to be treated like royalty is nothing different to boxing, is it? Um, I don't get treated like royalty. I'd be lucky if I get a. In fact, one time I've been at a boxing match and got a sandwich for free. Out of all the boxing matches, they just it's a very rare thing. But this time there was like a whole food spread laid out, and it was like, right, I could deal with this. Moving up in the world. I wasn't, but it was nice to be given some free food before a boxing match after a long day as well. Was feeding grain in the winter, and she was pushing in to get her head in where I was pouring the bucket feed. Okay. Well, that's not too bad because I'm guessing there's like the bars and everything to stop her from actually getting to you. I hope. Um, Yeah, I used to pet the cows, and they're quite nice animals. They're not mean. And if you got that fence between you, they're even better. We used to go up and straight like I took my wife when we went and visited the family once. I took the wife to the farm where we used to go. What we had like a walk after a Sunday race or whatever, as you do. We took the dog over. He was on the lead and always well behaved, so I wasn't too worried. Um, but we came across cows, and it was like the first time she had ever seen a real life cow, like not just out of the car window, driving past them, but actually gone up to a cow. And she was what, like 20 something, 21, 22, and she had never Never been up to touch a cow. That's mad. Right, yeah. Don't think always a super aggressive bull in the bull run might make a good stud. Yeah, that's it. Like if they got that and they're good for studding and you can make money, why kill it? Like, there's no point, is there? Studding out, I expect they can make a lot of money from studding out bullocks. I don't know how it all kind of works, whether it's done via contracts or you just know a guy that has a bullock in the back of a van somewhere. um, and you're like, yeah, it came off the back of a van, love. Sorry. It's just the way it is. No fences or anything. Okay, so you just they make okay, they make good lawnmowers. Right. So back when I was living on Dartmoor, um, we were right on the edge. So our front garden kind of overlapped the cattle grid. So you'd actually like if you went through the fence at that end, you'd be actually on Dartmoor, that side of the cattle grid. But if you went through the fence at this end, you're this side of the cattle grid. So quite often, normally in the snow as well, for some reason, we'd wake up, look in the garden, and there's just a load of sheep in there, just kind of milling about, being sheep. And it's like, oh my God, I got to get the sheep out of the garden. And you can't let them out the gate because then they're the wrong side of the cattle grid. So you've got to find the hole they come in. So I try and coax them back out, squeeze them back out through the hole, whatever. Oh, that was a nightmare when you're like 13 years old and it's snowing on Dartmoor. Not, not, and then there was horses and also it was brilliant growing up on Dartmoor because of the animals. We had like a little lake like opposite, and it was beautiful, but a bit of a nightmare at times. I even saw a sheep with like it got its head caught inside like a fencing sort of thing, a metal fence, like a box fence thing. You know what I mean? Got its head stuck, and we were all waiting for school bus to turn up. That's how young I was, still going on a school bus, and its head was stuck in the square, and we actually managed to free it. I can't remember who was involved, but I know there was a few of us, and we basically just pulled this fence apart, and it got itself out and ran off really, really, really fast, as you expect it probably would. But at least we helped the sheep. But you never know. Hey, Patrick, you're right, buddy. You never know with sheep because sheep like they tend to die from like over stress and things like that. So it probably died a bit later. But at least we tried to help where it got itself stuck. Normally they can work their way back out of situations, but there was no way it was getting out of that. Had the big curly horns, you know, and if you got big curly horns, you ain't getting out of somewhere you got in because you just can't. It doesn't work like that. That's the whole like that's why they invented arrows the way they are, so that they go in one way, but they don't necessarily come out the same way. Like barbs, isn't it? So Patrick, we're just talking about what pets you have basically. What pets do you have at home? You've got ants, and have you got anything else? Are they interesting? Have you ever had any bad bites or injuries? We've covered a whole range of subjects, so I'm just kind of catching you up. Yeah, hints will be in the stream. Yeah, nice. For anyone that doesn't know, um, I'll let you. I'll, nice, but I'll let you tell them about it in the comment section. But basically, there's some cool video coming out on Friday. I think it was Friday. I think it was Friday. I might be wrong. Correct me. And it's going to be awesome. And there's going to be a few little hints in the chat tonight. So just make sure you're watching and yeah, all of that lot. You know me. Ugh, my words are rubbish tonight. It's because I've gone like on a tangent so many times. I've completely lost where I am. There we go. On Friday, there will be a video on Ant Hayward YouTube channel. Thank you for putting that so nice and clearly for us. Like, you should be doing what I do. Like, my No, my words are just awful at the moment, aren't they? Let's be honest. So, oh, you're gonna like this one as well, buddy. I said earlier, I found you can get Weaver ant eggs in a tin. When I reach 1,000 subscribers, apparently I'm going to eat some. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, there's loads of merchandise coming soon onto the website. To be honest, I've just not had a chance to add some of it onto the website yet. I've got some of it sat next to me, literally sat next to me. And I've got loads of other stuff coming soon. There's like key rings, there's cups, and a few other rubbish little, not rubbish, but there's just bits of merchandise. There's also a few other cool little things that are coming onto the website. You know how it is, never ending. um yeah, yeah, it's I'm excited about it all. You know how excited I get, but I'm keeping quiet about things at the minute. We are going to move on to a duck race at some point soon, so if you're waiting for a duck race, don't worry, we will get there very soon. What else are we talking about? We were talking about other injuries and things like that. Has anyone else got any injuries that they wanted to share with the community that they got from pets, not just random injuries, like if you tripped over and hurt your foot? I'm not necessarily interested in that, to be honest. I'm here to talk about your pets, and if your pets have ever injured you. Have you ever been injured by someone else's pet? Have you ever been bit by a dog? I've been bit by three dogs, actually. One, two, yeah, three times I've been bit by dogs. Never would I say it's been maliciously on purpose. One of them literally didn't even see me coming. He was just jumping up and barking and biting whatever was the other side of the fence, and he managed to get his head through, and I was walking past. It could have been anyone at any time. I'm just glad it was me, because I shouted at the owner, and I went a bit crazy at the owner, as you can imagine. Um, and oh, there's a crab there. Um, what are you doing, man? Go home. You're on the wrong side of the tank. So yeah, I shouted at the owner, and that was the end of it. There was no need for me to have the dog put down or anything like that. I just said basically control your dog and fix your fence. But like I said, that dog wasn't targeting me. It was just upset. I don't know, barking at anyone walking past, and I walked past at the wrong moment, and it stuck its head through a little gap and bit me. Another time, I was bit by the Jack Russell, which I was saving my dog from. Another time, again, like I think I put my hand in to get, yeah, this dog was biting someone else, and I managed to help him off. And you get bit in the process, but it's never been directed necessarily at me. It's just an angry, out of control dog. So I've never felt the need to like pursue it further. I wouldn't want to end the dog's life for reasons of that. What am I? Yeah, right. So we've got 6 people in the chat. Because I am absolutely talking rubbish again, we're going to go to a duck race. So we've got Anti Matters at 6. Everyone else, if you haven't played duck races before, don't worry, it's great fun. There's no prizes involved at this current point in time. We have got some prizes coming, some competitions running on Discord very soon. So make sure you're on the Discord if you want to be involved in them. I think it's two £10 vouchers we got going, but you have to wait and see. It will be announced really soon. So yeah, we are doing a duck race tonight. We currently have 7 people in chat. Anti Matters has taken number 6. If you want to grab a number, you just shout out a number. First come, first serve. Sort it out between yourselves. We'll act like grown-ups, and we shall have a little duck race. I nearly shared the same screen. Oh, don't worry, that would have been amusing, though. So here we go. We'll just give it a minute so everyone in the chat can grab a number. So we've got Anti Matters at 6 and Cold Patrick at 4. Katrina number 2. We have 7 ducks and 7 people in chat. So you all could grab a duck if you want to leave a comment, but you might well be listening to this in the background, which is absolutely fine as well. We are going to second. What do we have? Right, we have some really cool looking ducks today. Let's have a little talk through that whilst we wait for the last few numbers to get picked or not picked. Doesn't matter. So we've got Granny Duck in number 1. Granny Duck is known for being one of the oldest ducks still racing. Brilliant. She got the wins under her belt, but she hasn't won for a while, probably because of her older age. We got Red Star Duck. Which one are you? So Stacey's number 3. Katrina, you on number 2. Red Star Duck in number 2. I'm hoping it doesn't lag too much when I start it up. I say my internet's been kind of off and on at the minute. I'm still putting it back to those storms. It hasn't been right since those storms, but I'm going to get it hardwired from the router very soon. But we got to like drill holes and all sorts of stuff. It's never easy, is it? It's never just straightforward, just to run the wire through the house. The wife's like, no, that's dangerous. Like, people will trip over. Like, I don't care. Just don't trip over it. You know it's there. I told you. So, right, duck race. Back to the duck race. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Right, so we have... Oh, okay. Right, yeah. I get ya. So we've got number 1 is Granny Duck. Number 2 is Red Star Duck. Number 3 is Plain Duck. Plain Duck doesn't really do a lot, but he practices a lot for these races. We've got Pirate Duck in number 4. You know what a pirate duck does. General pirate duck duties. We've got Spider-Man Duck or Spider Duck. He's doing all right. Number 2 is making a break for it right out in front. Number 6, we have Chef Duck. He eats loads, but he's got loads of energy for the racing, so he is on it tonight. And then we got Green Stripy Duck in number 7. And they're all kind of all pushing up together. Number 5 is pushing up the furthest. Spider Duck. We are going with Spider Duck as a name now. Pick up some pastries. Yeah, I mean, yeah, pasties. I love a good pasty. Who likes a pasty? If you like a pasty, put a little like on the like button. All right. Number 4 is making a break for it now. Oh no, he's falling back. He didn't have the energy. It's tiring being a pirate. He came into the race only half full of energy. Number 3's held strong the whole time. He's got stamina of a duck. A duck that wants bread. Right, last 9 seconds. They've all seen that bit of bread at the end of the race. All going for it. Number 4 is making a break for it. And it has gone to number 4. Wow. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming at all, to be honest. Or meat and potato pasty, yeah. Okay, I like a good Cornish as well. Pork and apple, that's got to be one of the best. Or Stilton and steak and Stilton. Or I just like a good pasty, can you tell? I like most things like that. Excuse me. One of the other really good ones, I have a real issue with eclairs. If you get me near a chocolate eclair, that I don't even care if it's yours, it's gone. I'll pay you for it. I'm sorry. I'm eating that chocolate eclair. Proper Cornish pasties, best cheese and onion, and chicken, ham, and leek. Okay, chicken, ham, and leek, that is a good pasty, actually. But I'm still saying pork and apple. I think that's my favourite, to be honest. I don't know. I quite like a breakfast pasty, but sometimes they're weird. Sometimes they put egg in it. Sometimes they don't. Like, it depends what's in your breakfast pasty. Has anyone ever had a breakfast pasty with egg in? Like, I thought it was a little bit weird, to be honest. It goes a bit rubbery, you know. I could deal with the sausage, the bacon, the beans, the mushrooms, everything else, just maybe not the egg. But whatever, I'll eat it. I'm not fussy. Food is food. Just don't put coconut on my food because I don't eat coconut. Don't know what it is. Can't deal with coconut. It's the texture, it's the flavor, it's the smell. It's like, that's coconut. It's the one thing I can't eat. But I'll eat pretty much everything else. I'm not fussy. Uh, Chicken supreme pasty. What is in a chicken supreme pasty? Is it just chicken supreme, like in the sauce, or I don't know, or is it a supreme chicken pasty with like a really cool chick? I don't know. I don't know that one. Pirate Ducky won. Yeah, Pirate Duck did win. So has anyone noticed what it's been like outside lately? It's been absolutely gorgeous weather, hasn't it? It's been beautiful sunshine, or at least here on the beautiful island of Portland, it's been beautiful weather. Weymouth's been all right as well, but no, they've got the same weather as us, which is quite weird because we've got like our own little micro atmosphere or something going on here. Like it can be beautiful sunshine over there, raining over here, snow even. Um, but no, it's been absolutely gorgeous the last few days. I went and sat on the beach earlier and watched the water for a little bit. That was really cool. It's not something I do very often. I was supposed to be working. I thought I'll sit on the beach, you know, getting paid for sitting. No, I wasn't working, to be honest. It was after work. I went and sat on the beach. But yeah, it was really cool. And then walking home, that amazing smell, someone's having a barbecue. To me, it's very early on for barbecuing, but get on it, man. Like, I love a good barbecue, mainly because of all the food, the meat, and like, I like a good barbecue. In fact, during the lockdown that we did, what were we, the first lockdown, during the first lockdown, like, it was beautiful summer, wasn't it? It was amazing summer. So we had like barbecue after barbecue after barbecue. It was like, oh, I've been fishing. I caught a fish. Chuck it on the barbecue. Oh, I've got a steak. Chuck it on the barbecue. Um, I've got normal food. Chuck it on the barbecue. Everything was going on the barbecue. It was great. Oh, I'm sorry, I've made Katrina hungry. I'm gonna make you all really hungry talking about barbecued food. Um, but has anyone else had a barbecue yet? Has anyone else like been to the beach? I'm quite lucky, right? Because my beach is well. If I run that way and jump, I wouldn't even reach the beach. I'd be straight in the water. But if I go that way for about 5 minutes, I'm right at the beach, and it's lovely. And there's, well, as you know, we've got miles and miles of beaches because we're an island. Not the UK, like Portland, my little island of Portland is a little island surrounded by beaches and cliffs and stuff. And then we've got Weymouth Beach and Chesil Beach and Sandsfoot Beach and Little Sea Beach. And there's lots of little beaches around here. So yeah, make the most of it. If you haven't been to the beach lately, get to the beach this summer. Everyone deserves a break. Yeah. And of course, we know what happens. I talk about it all the time. We know what happens when the weather comes out, the sun comes out. It's nuptial flight time, or nearly nuptial flight time. I'm prepared. I've got my test tubes ready. Um, I don't leave the house without my test tubes. The minute I see some, I'm probably well. I know what I'm looking for. I only have like one or two. Sorry, got right itchy nose, which is another story I'm going to tell you about. I only have one or two species that I'm looking for this year, mainly because it's not ones that I've ever found before. Um, I've owned, but I haven't ever found them before. So I just quite like to find them. I might not even keep them. I might just tube it and be like, oh, that's really cool. Look at it. Look. And put it back. But I just want to like the adventure of doing it. That's what I'm doing it for. I aim to help other people in my local area. So if anyone in my local area is watching or listening to this now or in the future, if you want to get in contact with me, I'll teach you how to put the test tubes together, the kind of signs that you're looking for. And if you want to be added to an email list, when I see a sign of, well, when I see the nuptial flight happening, I'm going to send out an email on the email list so everyone knows where and when, basically. So if you want to get involved, you can really easily. I'm not charging or anything. It's completely free. Just get involved. I'll show you how to do it. It's great fun. So yeah, but I obviously I can't go to stretch of the country doing it. But anyone that wants help or wants little advice, get in contact. I mean, there's hundreds of other people that were happy to show you. But if you need help, just send me a message. I'm happy to help you, show you what you need to do, and the kind of things that you need to look for to find a nuptial flight. Like know when it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Be ready for it, basically, because it's great fun. Like I say, even if you don't keep the ants, just going out now, you know, right? Because you've probably always seen the flying ant day, and like people just don't know what it is, and then you tell them that's when they're mating, and that's all the new queens on the floor. And then, like, when you've got that knowledge yourself, you go out and you see all these new queens walking about, and they're big old gasters, and you're like, that's so cool. Like, there's all the queens, and you can see like 100 odd queen ants in like a couple of minutes. You know, where else are you going to do that? And it's nuptial flight time. Love it. Brilliant. Honestly, you don't even have to keep them. It's just awesome. Like, I just like being in that environment, enjoying it, and yeah, it's just awesome. I can't wait. So I keep saying that I've got a story that I was going to share with you. So basically, I was lifting a big old bar, lifting a weight up to there, and I got an itch on my nose. And you like that with the bar, and it's there in front, and you're like, you can't put it down very easily. Well, you can, but it's a bit of a hassle to get it back up. Now you want to press it, but the nose is really good. And then I burst into a sneeze. Whoosh! Ooh, exactly like that. I headbutted the bar. So that's quite an interesting one for you. I thought you might like that story. So another thing I've got to talk about. Another thing. I need suggestions. Okay. Did like collecting conkers? Yes, very much. I need to ask for my community's help. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I can't make my mind up. Basically, I've got what I can describe as an arboreal enclosure. It is a mesh enclosure with, like, it's got no kind of base layer to it. It's got base, but I can't like add in like hardscape and things like that into the base layer. But what I have been able to build is sort of a branch structure. It'd be easier if I just get it, wouldn't it? Hang on. I need music, theme tune, something. Something a bit like that, right? I've got something. Well, it is that. Let's move the microphone. Right? Obviously, it's not completely done. It will change. Ugh. And I can make it look a bit prettier and whatnot, but I can't work out what I want to go in it. And that's one of the reasons I haven't finished building it, or actually started building it. I just kind of chucked stuff in there for now, because I've got it ready. But I don't know what I'm going to put in it. It could be like, I don't know. I have really been interested in mantises, but it's a massive enclosure for mantis, isn't it? I just don't know. I might just leave it empty for now. It's a hard one, really. It's a hard one. So if you've got any suggestions of what I should put in there, put it in the chat, put it in the comments. Leave me a comment after the stream. Send me a message in Discord. Just help me get some ideas of what you would like to see on the channel and what I should put in that enclosure, because I haven't got a clue. Here's a question for the community again. Like, you're so involved tonight, I bet you weren't expecting this, were you? What's the biggest vet bill you've ever had to pay? We all know vet bills can be insane, and especially for dogs and cats and whatnot. We love our animals like we love our family, and we would do anything for them. And sometimes it can be very expensive, even to set foot into a vet's. So what is the most expensive vet bill that you've had? Like, I know they can easily work their way into the hundreds, sometimes into the thousands. I would probably, when it reaches the thousands, you've got to start thinking about whether, like, the longevity of their life is worth that money, if you know what I mean. Not whether it's worth keeping them alive. Yes, it might be worth keeping them alive, but if they're not going to survive much longer after you do that, is it worth the thousands and thousands of pounds and you getting into debt? I don't know. I'm not in a position where I could give away £1,000. You know what I mean? And I know most people aren't. So it's a hard one, isn't it? Like, would you do it for your kids? Like, would you give your kid away if they were going to cost you £1,000? No way. But then, can I say that about an animal? It's a really hard one. It's a really hard one. So, what sort of vet bills have people incurred over the years? Has anyone ever had to take their cats or dogs to the vets, get them neutered, or I don't know? That does. Oh, I can't be dealing with that. I've got a mate, right, and he had 2 kids, and he got the snip. It's like, you're like younger than I am, and he's done it. He's done with kids. Like, fair enough, buddy. I get you. I completely understand that. I love my kids to bits, but I completely understand not having more. You ain't got to worry then, I suppose. But yeah, I don't. I didn't ever take my dog to get his done. Um, I don't know. I think it kind of changes their personality, doesn't it? I don't know. I never done it. I don't know. But we're gonna have another little duck race in a minute. So you're more than welcome to start calling out some numbers. And then we'll probably give it, I don't know, we'll call it about 10:30 tonight. I'll probably call it quits. I'm just bringing up the duck race. Now, the good thing about duck races is you never know who's going to win. It's completely not rigged. There's no way for me to be involved. It's just a good bit of fun. So we got 6. Like, have you ever noticed, right? I'm going to point something out to you now. And in fact, this is good fun as well. We all know my spelling's really bad. If we started playing a game like pointing out all the different spelling mistakes, there's currently like 10 on the website or something. No, there was 10. Now it's like 2 on the website. And even on my last post, there was 2 spelling mistakes. If you could point out like, I don't know, 20 spelling mistakes in a week, I'll give you a prize. They're definitely there. Okay, here we go. Stacy, thank you for putting this in. Removing a cancer lump from your old dog a few years back. She was still middle aged at the time, so worth it. And luckily on insurance. Now that's something, isn't it? Pet insurance. Now everyone should have pet insurance, really. Can you get ant insurance? Probably not. You should be able to on like a really expensive queen. It's not like you can walk in there and be like, "My queen's ill, fix her." And they'd look at you and be like, "What? That's an ant. Get out." um, but yeah, like cancerous lump as well. So that's a sort of thing that's got to be dealt with. Was it a massively expensive thing? I can imagine that would be having surgery and wow, yeah, and then probably therapy afterwards, a course of antibiotics or something like that. It's quite a big undertaking, isn't it? But like you say, definitely worth it. Oh, and on insurance, so it wouldn't have costed you much, if anything. Um, but if it wasn't on insurance, I expect that would have cost you a bomb, to be honest. And I probably shouldn't say that at the moment with Ukraine and whatnot, but it would have cost you an arm and a leg. So moving on to the duck race, we got 7 people in the chat, so we are having 7 ducks. We're gonna go for a 2-minute race because we like 2-minute races. They're nice and easy, nice and quick, and we don't have to watch ducks freezing on the screen for too long. I don't know what the quality is actually like at the moment, but it's nice that it's not like I haven't got a thing in the corner shouting at me that it's really, really bad. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Opening up old screens. We want that one. Just over £1,000. Yeah, that's quite, like you say, that's quite a lot of money. I mean, we love our animals and we would, I'm sure everyone would do it for their animals, but that's quite a lot of money. £1,000. Like you say, like just, that's £1,000. If one of my kids cost me £1,000, I'd have them out working. Simple as that. Right, so here we got number 1 is purple duck. We got number 2 plain duck. Number 3 is unicorn duck. Anyone that's number 3, my daughter would love your duck. Not all of my daughters, just the middle one. For some reason, but she loves unicorns. We've got plain duck in number 4 and 5 as well. So we've got plain duck number 2, 4, and 5. Wow. Number 6 is Sherlock Holmes duck, detective duck, whatever you want to call this duck, but he'll solve a crime. And then we got Granny Duck over in the far corner, number 7. Granny Duck wasn't happy with her last race, so she's stretched off her flappers and she's ready to go again. So on the count of 3, 2, 1, here we go. So we've got Katrina at 7, Antimatter's at 6, and Stacy at 3. If anyone else wants to get involved, just shout out your number. That's it. So we got plain duck and number 3. Number 3's doing really well. Stacy, we like your duck. It is a awesome unicorn duck. And it is in the lead. Doing really well. Oh no, losing already. No, you're doing really well. Where are we? Number 6. Oh yeah, you're not doing amazing actually. Come on, Detective Duck. Push forwards. Unicorn Duck's doing amazingly, but gonna tire out. You know, that's the problem with pushing hard that whole time down the racetrack. You've got to ease yourself into it. Save that energy for the last minute, you know. Number 1's just burst past. No, number 1's losing it back. Number 3's still holding. Oh, massive drop back from number 3 there. Number 6 is now in the lead. Antimatters has just taken the lead right out of everyone's beaks. But we'll see what happens coming on to the final stretch now. Last 10 seconds. Come on, Shirley. Yes. Oh, and number 1 has taken it. Number 1 closely followed by number 4 and 5. So I'm afraid nobody won that. Should we just go again? 3, 2, 1. Let's go again. Oh, excuse my bad cough. Number 2 is straight out in front. Followed closely by number 6, Antimatters. Number 2's fallen back. Number 5 and 6 have passed by. Number 1's coming up for a sneaky outside hit and run. And number 1 has taken the lead. Number 6 is dropping back just slightly. Number 3's starting to make a little break for it. Keep your eyes on number 3. She's coming for it. Number 1 and number 7 are battling it out, but everyone's having a nice even push at the minute. It's going really well. Apart from number 2. Number 2 is kind of... Oh no, number 2's making a break. I spoke too soon. I'll get good at being a horse announcer, won't I? Should work on a racetrack for a couple of days. I'd get really good at this then. We got number 7 holding first, closely followed by 5, 1, 3, and 2. It's so close. There's hardly gonna be a crumb of bread between them. But I fully expect they're gonna cross the line pretty much all together. Right, so they're falling back. We're coming up to the last stretch now. Number 3 is in the lead. Number 6 is making a break for it. Number 4 is making a break for it. All the ducks are pushing as hard as they can for this final race of the night. Number 4 has just taken it. I'm going to say closely followed by number 6. So well done. Again, I'm afraid there was no prizes involved for this. No, not tonight. But there will be. How about probably next episode? In the next episode, I'll give away an ant colony. How about that? I'm not going to tell you when. It's going to be in the next episode. At some point, we will do a duck race, and I will give away an ant colony. I don't know which ones either. I need to think about it. I've literally just come up with that on the spot, so whatever. But I promise you there will be an ant colony, and it's not just going to be an Alaceus Nigel or something like that. It will be a decent ant colony. Look on the website, see what I've got. It will be one of them, you know what I mean. Check out the website. There's loads of new ants on the website. If you haven't seen or heard yet, I got some new stock in, so check it out. Awesome. You don't have to buy from me. I'm like, you know, but just check out the ants that we've got because there's some really cool species there. But yeah, I'll give away a ant colony next week. That's not a problem. Next week, Sunday. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? So Sunday, we'll give away an ant colony on Sunday. If you're watching the stream on Sunday, you can get involved. So yeah, tell all your mates and everything to watch and get involved because then I might give away more. You know how it works. You got to go to bed. Thank you for signing in, Anti Matters. You're an absolute legend and a star, and I love you to pieces, buddy. I will see you again soon. We'll speak to you again soon. You know how it works. But we're pretty much coming to the end of the stream as well. So if anyone has anything left that they want to chat about or they want to ask me, you just let me know. Yeah. My ants are just all over those roaches. Do you want to see the ants before I go? Can you actually see what's happening on the screen at the minute? It's all blurry and fuzzy. I'm going to put on a 30-second timer. I'm going to put you onto the ants for a second. Then we'll have a little chat. Then I'll do a little roundup. And I'll see you again in the next episode. But here's the 30-second timer whilst I move the camera over to the tank again. There we go. That's better, isn't it? There's only so much of my face that anybody wants to see. Yeah, so we're pretty much coming to the end of tonight. If you've got anything to ask me, let me know now in the chat comments. Yeah, there's been lots of little updates happening all over the place. Don't forget to check out the Great Ant exhibition on my website, antsontherock.com. There's been a few little updates lately. I need to do another big update soon, but I'm trying not to release too much information right now. I will be releasing it basically in a couple of months' time. Lots more information about who's going to be there, who's going to be doing the speaking, who's there to do meet and greets, other little events that are going to be happening throughout the day. Those sorts of things, like more detail will be announced in a couple of months' time. And that is done on purpose, basically, because I'm not going to tell you. But yeah, it is all done on purpose. I'm not, what's the word? I'm not withholding it to be annoying. I'm withholding it to be respectful to, well, I would say, basically, I don't want to go releasing loads of information and whatnot, because there's still AntCon to go yet. So go and get excited about everything happening at AntCon. Have a little read of what's happening at mine, and then after AntCon, all the extra information will go up about my one, and then you can get excited about that one too. You know, I thought that would be quite respectful. Like, I don't want to, you know what I mean. Getting ready to look for queens. This is your first year. Awesome. You're gonna be so excited. Doesn't matter if the test tubes are glass or plastic, or have or plastic. Right. So believe it or not, when you're first catching the queens, you can put multiple queens into any test tube. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's glass or plastic, but you can put multiple queens into that test tube to get her home. Then when you get home, you can divide them up into like individual test tubes. You can go out and get one test tube for one ant queen, but you'll find yourself like really struggling, if you know what I mean, to like, if you're overrun with them, you'll get one and then you spend 5 minutes dealing with that before you can get with the other one. So that is one trick, is you can use anything. You can use a lunchbox or something and just scoop them up with a little scoopy scoop into the lunchbox, and then separate them off into test tubes when you get home, and you've got more kind of time and resources to do that, if you know what I mean. You don't have to catch them in the tubes there and then. I hope that helps a little bit. But obviously, the best way to keep them is in the test tube. So as soon as you get home, put them in that test tube with a bit of water, because they will need that. You don't know when they last had a drink. Could have been ages ago. No, I don't know. But you know what I mean. Like, just do it like that. That's kind of my procedure when I get overrun. But I do carry 8 test tubes all the time. 8. I'm not catching 8 ants this year, so I don't know why, but it's just what I do. All year round, I've got test tubes on me. If I see something cool, like a cool bug or something, I'll stick it in the test tube and have a quick look, or take a picture and ask someone to identify it for me. It's just what I do. I'm weird like that, I suppose. And that was good. Someone just signed in and started. I don't know who just signed in, but hello. Someone just signed in at that exact point where I said that I'm weird. That's a good introduction, isn't it? But I'm actually going to call it a night there. If that's, yeah, I'm going to probably call it a night there. Thank you all so much for coming on for another episode. You're all absolutely amazing, and I love you to pieces. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. We have Kevin Rogerson, Jason Walker, and Andy Matters. Andy Matters has only just left us as well. But you're an absolute legend, buddy. You're all absolute legends, of course, but I have to say a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters, because they actually support me that extra level. And obviously, a massive, massive thank you to our sponsors of the Picnic Table Live Ant Chat Show. It's going to be called the Picnic Table Chat Show for Season 3. Yeah, eBay's perfect. That's the best place, Stacey. So Season 3, we've only got a couple more episodes left in March, and then we're moving into April. Season 3 will be the Picnic Table Chat Show, just because there's a lot of chatting these days, isn't there? So I thought I'd change the title slightly, but it hasn't changed the show. The show will still be the same. In fact, there's going to be more fun and games, more giveaways, more interviews, more of everything, and it's going to be amazing. I've also got some sound effects and stuff coming in, not for like comedic effect, but earlier when I needed that theme tune for the da-da-da-da, things like that, little drum roll, you know. So yeah, we're working hard here to make the streams better for you all the time, make these episodes better for you all the time, because we just want to make you happy and enjoying it. It's just a great place to hang out and talk to your friends. But yeah, so a massive thank you to our sponsors. We have Answer Us. He is absolutely amazing ant shop. They have so many cool ant species. Like, I'm never going to get to that kind of level where there's that many varieties. Absolutely amazing store. I would highly recommend. And also a massive thank you to the Ant Lady for also sponsoring the show. Again, amazing ant colonies, amazing quality, and a lovely lady. She's always there to help you if you are struggling. And she has been known to like get in some really interesting ants as well, some things that are like more there. So if you haven't checked out either of those stores, definitely check them out next time you're looking to make an ant purchase. So a massive thank you to them for sponsoring the picnic table and chat show thing. But I'm going to say a massive thank you, everyone. I love you to pieces. You're all absolutely amazing. You make these streams what they are. Without you, it would just be me sat here chatting away to nothing. But you actually make it amazing. You make it worth signing in for every episode. And I hope you come back and sign in on Sunday, where we're going to be giving an ant colony away in one way, shape, or form or another. It's going to be amazing and you're going to love it. But I'm going to leave it there. You can get me on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, pretty much everywhere. I think we are starting a Twitter account very, very soon, and a few other social media platforms are also opening up very, very soon. So we're just going to be absolutely everywhere that you look soon. You're going to see the little turquoise color and my little ants. Those ants also have names. If you didn't know, the ants in my logo, I named them a long, long time ago. So they're just going to be like everywhere soon. But yeah, thank you very much for signing in, everyone. And thank you, Ant Boy, for saying that. Good night, Ant Boy. Good night, Stacey. Good night, anyone else that is in the chat. Katrina, if you're still here. Cole Patrick, I believe, might have went. And it matters, is probably gone. But anyone that is here, thank you for watching. Good night. I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll see you again soon. But as always for me, I'll see you again soon, Ant fans.